Going on, everyone? Pat Mayo here. Remember to smash a like and sub to Mayo Media Network, obviously. And I just wanted to let you know that this is a part of a conversation that Tambo and I had about the Monday Night Football DraftKings Showdown contest. $1 million to first prize, by the way, with Tampa Bay and Dallas, and the strategy behind it and how you can use some of the tools to give yourself the best advantage and generate lineups. RunTheSims.com/Mayo will get you 10% off right now. You can hit the link down in the description. It is fantastic for props, player projections, and of course, the small and showdown slates that we're getting into during the NFL season, mainly because you can customize it any way that you want. You want a particular score that you think that's how the outcome is going to go? Well, generate lineups that look that way. It's super easy to use, highly recommend, and here is that conversation.
Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Would you like to hear the optimal showdown lineup for Monday Night Football?
Let me go to it for a second here, and we'll do it. Yeah, it's Tampa Bay, Dallas.
Brady is the captain.
Okay.
Now, this is 10,000 simulations. This one appears 13 times as the optimal. And this isn't building in like, hey, I want 4-2, 3-3, 5-1. This is just straight up what it told.
Who is it? Yeah, exactly.
It's Brady as the captain with Otton, Godwin, and Rashad White. Dak and Tony Pollard. That seems like the most uncorrelated lineup of all time.
Otton, Godwin, Rashad White.
Dak and Pollard.
Dak and Pollard.
So it's Dak. In this lineup, you're saying Brady throws to his backs, Godwin, and hits a rando tight end for a touchdown. Dak throws to Pollard for some gains, and they do everything on the ground. And Dak steals a touchdown from Zeke. I guess that's a story that you tell yourself with this lineup. I don't love this lineup, but like I'm not good at showdown, so
yeah, it still makes sense on paper. Like it's Brady with two pass catchers, which is what you're going to want. It's got a running back that can fill in for that, and then it's maybe Pollard scored early and then gets the checkdowns. He gets plenty of passing work, so it works. And the reason it's still at least a little bit unique, it won't be in the big slate with $1 million up top because everyone's got lineups like this. But I'm saying you have Dak with no pass catcher, but you do have a pass. It's Pollard in a running back disguised position as your pass catcher. And what has his targets been? They've been pretty solid, I think. Go ahead.
So the next three that appear in the optimal most often actually do not project for the second, third, and fourth most points. It's just the way that these 10,000 simulations went. The next highest total of all of them is Brady, Otton, Godwin, Fournette, Dak, and Schultz would be the next highest projected point total. But in terms of the optimal, it wasn't close with the way that it got spit out. The next three that are all tied with 11 out of the 10,000 simulations. Two of them have Brady as a captain. One of them is Otton, Godwin, Evans, Gage, and Pollard. So a 5-1 Tampa onslaught.
So what was that one? I just want to see the projection difference in the two. That was Brady as the captain.
Otton, Godwin, Evans, Gage.
Otton, Godwin, Evans, Gage.
With Pollard. So the difference I have is 7 points between that first lineup and this lineup. Although this one leaves $1,200 on the table.
Brady, Evans, you said, but this one leaves big money. Yeah, this one leaves $1,200, right?
Yeah.
And I have it as the first one was the
first one I had is 105.5 points. I have this one at 99 points.
Yeah, I've got this one 10 points worse than that.
That's just what ended up coming up.
But again, you're going a 5-1 here, full onslaught. Like I can see where people could get to this very easily.
So the other lineup is almost the exact same thing. It has four of the same pieces, except you take out Cade Otton and replace him with Leonard Fournette. You take out Tony Pollard and replace him with Brett Maher.
Just the kicker. Wow.
Yeah. And that one projects it almost the same as the last one.
How much money does that one use?
All of it.
And that's with Gage.
Uses all 50,000.
I think I'm missing a piece here. Evans.
Brady, Evans, Godwin, Fournette, Gage.
Brady, Evans, Godwin. Oh, Fournette, Gage.
And then Brett Maher.
Fournette, Gage. All right, I got it.
It does seem to me like everyone's kind of like Dallas passing stack is probably the contrarian side of this game.
Yeah.
Like no running backs, Dak, Lamb, Schultz, Noah Brown, and then figure out the $2 that you like. I think that'll be, if you're going to play it, that's probably the way to play it to get off of like Brady, Evans, Godwin. They're just going to be, and Pollard are going to be like your 4 most popular captains.
I love this slate because, again, I think you and many others will look for these pass catchers, and I think you can build lineups here. A lot of those optimals, which is awesome, but they still had Godwin in there, or they still had Evans in there, or whatever.
So you want to use Pollard, Zeke, White, and Fournette.
And then I want to use Otten, and I want to use Schultz, and I want to use the quarterbacks, and I want to use the kickers, and I want to use the defenses. I have a huge pool. Like, oh, you named everybody. No, but I'm saying when you build a bunch of lineups.
You have no Lamb, no Godwin, no Evans.
Yeah, and I'm not going to, again, people that know me and will see the stuff on Run Pure and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not building all my lineups that way. I'm saying that's where I've had some great success this season in Showdown is you're not going off the board looking for the weird play in Showdown or leaving all the salary to just make it unique. That does make you unique, but it doesn't guarantee you to win just because you're unique. I'm looking for, say, okay, maybe it's a Dalton Schultz captain. That would include Dak for sure.
Well, and the first thing you told me when you came on is that I think this game is a shootout. You don't. Right. Therefore, defense, kickers, running backs is the story that you're telling.
Yes. Yep.
Like I can go in to run the Sims right now. Like we have points scored for Dallas 23. Let's just say this game is 17-14. Mm-hmm. What happens then? So say 17-14 for Dallas. How does that shake itself out? I'm not going to twist any of the other knobs or anything, but just do 10,000 more simulations of 17-14, the score.
And can I note something while you do that? Just one thing I want to bring up why I love Run the Sims is also you'll have people out there watching this right now, Pat, saying, oh, Pat, Tambo, they're crazy. Like Tambo's crazy. It's never going to be 17-14, these two teams. First of all, we know that's not true. It could be, but that's not the point. It also could be right to the total. We could see 24-21, right around that 45-point total, or it goes over even. But on Run the Sims, you can change the rushing share. And what they're doing, I'm saying how they get there. What if more running backs score the touchdowns and tight ends and that stuff? I can change all that on Run the Sims.
I would say that, and that's actually a really good point. So let's do that.
I don't think it's going to be a 17-14 as much as I'm saying if it goes under, let's say 24-21.
Let's call it 21. Let's call it 21-17, a slight under.
Sure, I like that.
And in that game, I think both teams probably run the ball a little bit more. So instead of a 50% rush rate for Dallas, we'll increase that to 60%.
Yes.
And for Tampa Bay, instead of a 34% rush rate, let's call it 45%. And we'll call their rushing TD rate instead of 18%, we'll call it 30%. That's not a big adjustment whatsoever.
It's fair.
And we'll boost up from 40 to 50% rushing touchdown rate, although I think it's probably higher than that. Let's call it 60% for Dallas. They love rushing the ball.
Yeah, of course.
And we'll call the sack rates 6% and 6.5% on either side. Just make it easy on ourselves to give us a unique build that way. Run that 10,000 times and now see what our
and we're not going in player by player trying to be these heroes and guess it. We're letting the Sims still work.
Like here's the game
Here's
flow.
what the game looks like. And again, you're building game flows in Showdown. That's what it's all about. $1 million up top too.
So here's how it now looks. The two most optimal lineups both have Pollard as the captain.
Okay.
It's Pollard as the captain with Myers, and those are the only two Dallas players. Then it's Godwin's, Brady, and Evans with Rashad White. Then, I think this is the build that you were looking to get for, and it's one that projects for the most points.
And it's with Pollard as captain still?
It's Pollard with captain, Brett Mayer as a flex, with Zeke.
Yeah.
And then it's Brady, Godwin, and Fournette.
Yeah, I love this build, by the way. It uses all the money. That's unfortunate, but you can play around with it. But
you could just use Zeke as your captain and use Pollard in the flex and hope Zeke scores 3 touchdowns, or two of the implied touchdowns in this game. Hopefully they both go to Zeke, and all of a sudden Pollard racks up the yardage, but Zeke outscores him for a cheaper price, and now you're probably at like 48-50 or something.
Another great point, Pat, that you brought up there is that exactly. It's just all one guy beats one guy, which is standard. It projects almost the exact same, but leaves the $100 on the table instead of the max. It's not going to make a huge difference, but just good that you brought it up. But I will say that's the prime build where, like I said, you don't have no pass catchers, but I've got 2 running backs and the kicker. That's how Dallas scores their points. Let's say they are the 20, what do you say, 21?
I had them at 20. I had the game at 2017.
Yeah, okay, so let's say they're the 17 side even, but they get the yards on the ground, the bonus stuff. That's a touchdown for each of them. The kicker, the extra points, all that could be a thing. And then the other side, you've got Brady, Fournette for the touchdowns that rack it up. But Godwin's a PPR guy too.
Yeah, he'll get his 9 for 96.
Exactly. He gets his 9 for 70 or something like that, and he just needs to be in there. Those are the types of builds. You don't have to have no pass catchers. I'm just saying if most of the lineups that we're seeing are going to want to have the other setup of Godwin, Evans, Lamb, you can fit. There's affordability here to be able to put those guys in. You could do it the other way. If you don't think my way is right and flip it to your way, you could build other lineups where you'd use all pass catchers. Right? Set it up that way. Use don't use Brady at captain, but who's the cheapest guy that it liked? It was like what, Gage, you said?
Yeah.
If you go Gage, you can probably fit everybody. You go Brady, Dak. I'm just filling it out quickly. You got Godwin, who it loved. You got Cade Otton, who it loved. Where's he at now? I got him down at the bottom here, so that will fill that out. And that leaves me exact money, well, $200 left on the table to get CD Lamb. So you got Gage, Otton, Godwin, Brady, Dak, Lamb. $200 on the table.
And to look at it, the captain optimal rate right now is Pollard by a bunch, 22%. Brady, Fournette, and Godwin all around 12%. Those are the big four when it comes to who the optimal captains are right now. After that, it's Dak, and then it's another big drop-off, and it gets to Rashad White and CD Lamb and Zeke. Like, those guys are all around like 5-6%.
Yeah, probably the most interesting point to round it out, at least on my end for this slate, would be the Fournette ownership, because, again, playoff Lenny, all the stuff on the main slate, people are using them. People are going to have him everywhere. It's not very noticeable to go from Pollard to Zeke, right? It's, I believe, $200. But Fournette to White is $7,200 to $5,400. For example, that lineup we gave earlier, you could just leave it as is. I said it's unfortunate, uses all the money. Just drop Fournette to White, done.
Yeah, and hopefully
you just leave the money, and it's like that isn't. You didn't do anything crazy. You just said White beats Fournette. It's very possible that happens in this game on a single game slate. So that's the types of things you're doing here. Just some of it's basic to most, but I'm just saying in general, little things like that is all it takes. Not who's the diamond in the rough at the bottom that, Cameron Brate's going to come in at $200 and Brate the slate. No.
Brate the slate.
That's people are coming up with these things, me included. So just I'm saying, that's what people look for when it's not what you have to do. I need White to beat Fournette. They're both running backs. They split the shares pretty much. They're in the same game, same one-game slate spot. It leaves huge money on the table. You're more unique, and it can beat them.
All right. That will do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. You want to do what we just did and conform it to what you think is going to happen, runthesims.com/Mayo to get yourself that discount. Super easy to use. Like I said, sometimes it's just about turning a few different levers. You don't need to go full galaxy brain and say, well, I think that Rashad White is going to get 7.4% of the receiving
We're not
shares.
doing that.
Here's what they get.
That's the best part of it, though. I mean, we talk about it all day for obvious reasons, but it is the truth. Like, you go on, you let the simulations do the work. But you can say, I want to see what this game. If you have an opinion on a game condition flow, that can change things drastically from what the general public is doing with the projection sites, and they're letting them just say the projections are always right. You're getting projections, but you're also getting them based on how you see the game flow going. A lot of people use it. Great tool to have. If you don't have it, it's worth checking out. Now would be the time.
Yeah, runpuresports.com. No discounts right now. It's too good.
You can get discounts. Hit me up if you want a discount on Twitter.
DM Tambo at Totag and Tambo. He'll get you a discount code.
We'll get you a discount code. But runpuresports.com, yes, all sports, one price. Same thing. You compare that with it. I mean, that's the thing about Run Pure. The tools you have, like Run the Sims, Run Pure, makes perfect sense together. RTS, RPS.
There we are.
It's a workout. You've got the tool. You've got the content from the people that are putting the time into the tools to then sort of make it more layman's terms, expedite the process for you, simplify the slate to make it easier for you in that sense.
Super easy. We'll be back next week for the final DraftKings show of the year. Did not think we'd go for an hour and 15 minutes on this, but here we are. It's always fun talking, but we're back if you miss Tambo and me, we are here every Wednesday talking golf DraftKings at the same time. So hopefully you'll...
You know why I'm smiling? We got a big sweat this afternoon on Eric Cole. 1 under through round 1.
Eric Cole was third in the field in approach yesterday.
He's solid. I'm sweating it. Not you.
Couldn't make a putt to save his life, but
you might be sweating it for your lineups. I'm sweating if what we're sending out on Twitter, because we'll see what he looks like after this round.
The Listeners League is getting close to full. You can find that down in the description right now. It's 3 max entry, $15 to play. It's the Sunday only slate. Once again, runthesims.com/Mayo to get yourself that discount. Smash like, sub to the channel, rate and review the pod, and sub to that too on the way out. I'm Pat Mayo. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience! Experience!